Cardinals prospect Jordan Walker is heating up at the AFL. Let's discuss on Fantasy Baseball today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. Today is Saturday, October 15th. I am Frank Sanfeld, joined by the Welsh, Chris Welsh. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at @IsItTheWelsh. Yes, indeed it is. The AFL, one of the top prospects in the game, Cardinals third baseman Jordan Walker. Off to kind of a slow start here. 4 for 16, 2 home runs, however, and one that you did catch on tape here. What have you seen from Jordan Walker recently? Do you think we see him with the Cardinals at some point next year?
I do, and I will actually even correct, because this is one of the reasons why I think there's a possibility that he could be there on opening day. It's because he is Cardinals right fielder, Jordan Walker. Correct. He is not playing third base here. He started playing in the outfield before the minor league season ended. He's exclusively playing right field out here in Arizona. Great arm he's showing off. So much so, an interesting thing that happened out here, if the Cardinals had advanced, they actually sent Tyler O'Neill out here to the Fall League. He played one game, this is a side note, played one game on Saturday, then the Cardinals unfortunately lost. He was set to come and have a couple rehab assignments, which I thought was interesting of an outfielder that Jordan Walker could be replacing. With all of the new abilities for picks and whatnot, there is definitely an open field for these guys to bring up a prospect like Jordan Walker. Now, the thing that's probably going to hold him back is you're learning a new position, which, at least he's getting enough time in. He's also showing some contact issues out here in the Fall League. As you said, it's been a slow start, but when mistakes are made, he dominates on them, and he hit a ball which was probably close to 400. You can see on my Twitter at @IsItTheWelsh. He absolutely destroyed a fastball inside. Can't make mistakes on him, and when he heats up, he's a guy that steals bases. He's a full 5 category player, even though he stands at 6'5".
All right, let's move over to Jasson Dominguez. Not nearly 6'5", but he is playing well. Also got off to a slow start, but the hits are coming around. He's running. He has 3 steals. I know that he's kind of jumped up and down the prospect rankings here, Welsh. What are you thinking? Is he top 50? Is he a top 25 prospect for Dynasty? Jasson Dominguez, that is.
I think Jasson is going to sit in the top 25 range, and he has been a huge variant across the board, people not falling in love with this or that. He's never going to meet expectations, but the one thing he did is I think he surprised everybody when everybody jumped down on ranks for him this year. What I've seen out here in the Arizona Fall League is he's shown a really good ability that I did not expect for pitch recognition, which I just didn't think with a young guy like him. He's not afraid to walk. He's been hit by pitches. He gets on base. He immediately steals. He's had a couple hits that have been taken away. One thing that's going to hold him back, which might be, I would even propose a buying opportunity if he's still really low, is that there's so much offense here in the Arizona Fall League. I had mentioned with you on the full show that there was a game last week that scored so many runs that they stopped the game because they ran out of pitchers. That's what's happening here in the Fall League. We are talking 10 to 15 runs a game that if Jasson doesn't shine, that's going to stand out to a lot of people, might create an opportunity. But at the end of the day, he's showing a lot of the things you want outside of his size, not being 6'5", maybe closer to 5'6", if we're being honest with you. He's doing everything else that could create a selling opportunity if you're worried about it. Otherwise, if you got enough people that are scared about Dominguez because he can't live up to being the Martian, what I'm seeing out here really intrigues me to think that from a fantasy perspective, maybe he's not the biggest, sexiest superstar, the next Mike Trout, but maybe he's the next Randy Arozarena or Teoscar Hernandez. And I think we would take that.
Yeah, for sure. We can get like a 20-20 bat, 20-30 bat, something like that. That would be awesome for fantasy purposes. Twins prospect, Austin Martin, someone I wanted to highlight. He's 12 for 24. He's got a homer, 3 doubles, 4 steals. Former 5th overall pick back in 2020. Came over to the Twins in the Jose Barrios trade. And, it's kind of interesting because he had such a bad season in the minors this year, Welsh. Would a big Arizona Fall League performance rebuild confidence in Martin as a dynasty asset, or would you use this as an opportunity to sell high in that format?
I think ultimately I'm probably going to sell high if it builds up high enough, because I think power is going to be a big question. I actually posted a couple of videos. He had a couple singles, hit a double. He's making really great contact out here. He leads the AFL as we're recording this in hits and stolen bases. Also been hit a couple times. He was hit in the head, shook it off, hit in the arm, immediately stole a base. This guy is a gamer. But ultimately, I just don't know where the power is. I had mentioned this, and then immediately he hit a homer right after this, that I've compared him to maybe like a Josh Rojas in fantasy. If you could live with that, then you should live with Austin Martin. But if the things worry you overall and a guy not having, 15, 20 plus power, then you could sell. And this AFL, I promise you, is going to rebuild some of the value as he is dominating the stat sheet.
Last note here on the Arizona Fall League, Robert Hassel, the outfield prospect with the Nationals, will miss the rest of the Arizona Fall League due to a broken hamate bone, and it's quite disappointing because he was very bad after being traded to the Nationals. We wanted to see something here out in the AFL, but unfortunately, Robert Hassel will miss the rest of this offseason. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again on Tuesday morning. Bye-bye.